Bulldog Nation? Welcome to the Bulldog Breakdown with Coach Rocco. How you doing, Coach?
Great.
We are in our fancy studio now.
Yeah.
We'll work on that a little bit, but mainly got it started because it's cold outside, and it's that time of year. Must be playoff football when it's practice time. It's still cold. A lot of people not practicing this week, so what a blessing to be doing that. This is your go-to source for all things LCA football. Today we have an exciting lineup. Great player of the game. I'll let people try and figure that one out till we get there. But we're going to jump into our recent victory. We're going to go over to the film room and look at some things. Friday, Bulldogs capped off a regular season that was perfect. Yeah. Another thing that you always say, winning is hard in football.
It is.
So when you get to the end of the season and you see that 0 in the loss column, reflect on that a little bit for me.
Yeah, before we went out on the field Friday night, I challenged the guys. We could have lost the game and still had a part or a portion of the Seminole District Championship. At 8-1, we still would have been co-champs with JF because we had beaten Heritage earlier in the year, and Heritage had beaten them. But I challenge the guys, don't we want to be perfect? Don't we want to finish this thing perfect the way we set that goal to at the beginning of the year? And, obviously, unanimously, everybody was in lockstep that we needed to finish this thing off right and win it outright. That was the fourth Seminole District Championship we've had in a row, and many people talk about how demanding the conference is, which it is, but I just think it's such a testament to our kids, our coaches that work so hard to be able to do that 4 years in a row in a conference that difficult. It's just a tremendous blessing and an honor to be able to be associated with it.
Yeah, it was neat to watch those guys come out and compete, but compete with just kind of that next level, understanding that this wasn't just the last game of the season. There's a championship on the line, and you kind of felt that from the beginning. You also felt that from Jefferson Forest as well.
No doubt.
They came out and competed really well. A commanding 50-6 win that doesn't really write the entire story of the game. We went into halftime up 15.
No, it was 15-6.
15-6.
Yeah.
And JF drove down a couple good drives, got field goals off of those. But let's talk about the game.
Yeah.
In the beginning, they were moving the ball on us pretty decently, hitting some gaps, and you guys made some adjustments. Mm-hmm. Tell me what you were seeing there, because as we watched, we saw them continually move down. Fortunately, we were able to stop them at the goal line, but what was the key to making some of those adjustments?
Yeah, I mean, just the week before, they had scored 38 against Amherst. They had scored 40-some the week before that. I mean, it was a potent offense, and the misdirection and things that they do is very difficult. And we had our guys really locked in on their keys, and if this happened, I'm going there. If this happened, I'm going there. For the most part, I think it was working very well. As you said, they moved the ball on us a little bit in the first half, but we held them to 2 field goals, and to hold a team like that over the course of the game to 0 touchdowns, I mean, is a tremendous accomplishment. But as you said, there were a couple adjustments that had to be made. We did some things with our linebackers where we were, kind of blitzing them on sight. They would get their key and then we would blitz, but it was kind of taking us out of where they needed to be, and we kind of slowed them down a little bit and played over top into an off-tackle gap, and that really seemed to shut the door after they were getting some success. But I mean, it was a tremendous effort. A lot of people, reporters, whatever, asked early before the game, what do I think, is the difference? And I really felt like the fact that our kids have been there before, and there was confidence in the storm. We knew it was going to be a battle, and it was, we talked about not flinching. So they went right down the field, kicked a field goal right away, and we didn't flinch. We came right back and we scored on them, and then we went for two, and we were putting the pedal to the metal, and we just kept coming. So we didn't ever want to let our guys feel like, oh wow, they're good and they're doing things again, which they were good, but we didn't ever want to give our kids the sense that, wow, we're in a long battle here, which we were, but our kids battled the whole time.
I do want to ask about the 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
Beautiful play, by the way. It was good, and James almost got taken down, fought through it.
Right.
What makes you at the very beginning go, I'm gonna go for 2 on the first touchdown of the game?
Well, it's just that mindset of, we're going, we're going to pedal the metal and do whatever it takes to keep the pressure on them. And so the fact that they scored first, well, then we answered back with a touchdown. And then 2-point, we wanted them to feel the pressure,
right,
not us. And typically when we do things like those fakes on extra points and what have you, we'll predetermine when we're going to do it. And so it's not like anything that we see out on the field and we make a call and they go and do it. We're telling them,
kind of the plan.
Yeah, the first time we score, we're going to run a fake. Yeah.
Wow.
And it was just all in line to keep the pressure on them.
Tyler Jackson, I think 7 for 8, like 90 yards in the air. Huge pass to Jelly.
Yeah.
It was as much a good pass as it was a good catch.
Yeah.
By him. Still seeing him progress as he's going through this season. It's hard to call him a freshman quarterback. He's got a whole season behind him.
Right.
How do you feel that this season has prepared him for playoff football?
Yeah, he's ready. It's not even just this season. His dad obviously is a high-level baseball coach, and Tyler, plays a lot of baseball, and he's been in pressure situations. Football's a little different, obviously. In baseball, he's standing there with the bat, and nobody's trying to rip his face off, And that's the thing that's been so impressive to me, that he's diminutive, but he's tough, and he doesn't care. 300-pounder breathing down his neck. He's stand in there and throw the ball. He's throwing for 70%, which is a high percentage. He's taken coaching. He's executing what we're coaching him to do. It's just been a tremendous blessing that he's even in this program right now and leading our team. The guys believe in him. Whether he's a 15-year-old freshman or a 18-year-old senior, our guys are following him.
There were some big moments in Friday night's game that just kind of stood out to me. We talked about the fact that it's hard to pick a Maddox Power play of the game.
Yeah.
Are there ever moments that, I know you try and keep an even keel on the sideline, not to get too up, not to get too down. Are there ever moments that it surprises you so much that you can't help but cheer or
absolutely.
Do you remember Friday night, any that stood out to you like that, where it was just more than you're able to kind of contain a little bit?
You already touched on the nice throw to Jelly and Jelly's extension and going up and making a play. And
spun around 180 degrees.
Yeah, and that was I want to say it was a third down play, and it kept the drive going and got us a big chunk of yardage, and we went on to score after that. But there's TJ's fumble Rooski that's my vote for play of the game. Hopefully we'll show one here coming up, but there were a lot of big time plays in that.
Yeah, looking through that one was incredible. That was such an awareness play on TJ's part, is to just not, because he could have ducked out. He wasn't in the play anymore, but he's still aware, and that ball bounced 6 yards back, right into his arms, and he runs it for a touchdown. Also was a big fan of Jelly. Again, play is almost done, and he just crashes in the line, rips the ball out, and runs it back for a touchdown. And for me, that's where the difference was in the game, is that there were about 4 or 5 big plays, a couple of good long runs, and then some of these defensive plays and awareness plays that suddenly it goes from 15-6 to 50-6.
And that was the experience aspect that I felt, would maybe be a benefit to us. Our kids have been in tough, games before with a lot on the line, and we know we don't get rattled. We know how to keep the pressure on them, and those kind of plays that we're talking about were exemplified that.
It's a unique thing. Before we get done with Jefferson Forest, it was really neat to see the respect between the two teams afterwards. A lot of guys exchanging good words. Yeah. We play in a division in a district where some of the guys in our district are going to go into different level of state playoffs, so we definitely wish them well.
Absolutely.
How do you feel that they're poised to go into their playoffs?
Yeah, unfortunately, they suffered a pretty severe injury in their fullback, number 34, right at the very end of the game. Unfortunately, and I understand it's not a good one with his leg, so that'll obviously hurt them. But I mean, the things that they do, I think, are going to be very, difficult for teams to defend. We've seen JF almost every week because in our film exchange that we get, we're following them, so we're always getting their film. So not that we've been studying them the whole year, but we've been seeing them. If you're a team that hasn't seen them all year long, and then all of a sudden for 1 week you're trying to prepare for them, that's going to be hard, not even knowing what to expect.
There's a lot of moving pieces for sure.
Yeah.
Well, one guy that really showed out in the game, both defensively and offensively, Gideon Davidson, over 250 yards rushing and 19 tackles. We're going to step aside and bring him in for Spotlight Player of the Game. All right, Bulldog fans, we are back with the Sideline Spotlight coach. We got none other Gideon Davidson with us. Excited for playoffs?
Oh, yes, sir. Love them. I love it. Because, I mean, it's a lot different than the regular season where you haven't really, connected with other teammates or other opponents.
Right.
These are guys that are across the state or
never.
You haven't, really associated. So it's kind of cool just getting to play new guys and
that's awesome.
See what you're up against.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. Hey, let's talk about your performance this week. Not only on the offensive side of the ball, but about halfway through the game, I looked. I said, I feel like I'm marking you down for a lot of tackles, and you really were able to get in on a lot of those. Tell me about what it feels like to contribute to a team's success. You're a big team guy, and so when you see your efforts go to help a team win, what does that do for you?
Well, I mean, on offense is all the linemen. I mean, they can't get any yards without linemen, so they did their job. They got their job done, and it just allowed me to be the best player I can be.
Yeah.
And then
defensively, what was? I mean, you've had a great year, but
I mean, defense. We kind of throughout the week we just rep defense a lot, and it just allowed the entire defense to read their keys and play their position. So it just worked out really well.
So coach is putting you in the right place to make the right thing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I think coach, I saw at one point there was about 18, 19 tackles this guy was in on.
Yeah.
Were you able to kind of get that feel that he was having a special game defensively as much as some of?
Honestly, I was not, or I did not. I mean, Gid is always around the ball. I mean, obviously it was his offensive prowess that night that was most notable. But then Sunday, when Coach Meeks, who does our defensive stats, let me know that he was in on 19 tackles, it was a no-brainer for us in terms of who was going to be the player of the game. 5 touchdowns, 19 tackles. That's just as complete a game as it can be. I mean, Gid was locked in this week. He every day in practice, he referred to, reading keys. I mean, we felt like we really had these guys down and what they did offensively. And it was up to each individual really help focus in on their responsibility. And Gid was locked in all week, and I'm not surprised that he had 19 tackles at all.
Yeah, that was something else. Somewhere in the third quarter, I remember saying to somebody, I said, "Man, what did JF do to Gideon?" Because he seems mad at him right now. Gideon, all season long, every time we sit with one of the guys here on the Bulldog Breakdown and just kind of ask about the team, a lot of the guys talk about unity, just a love for each other. For you as a senior, you've been on a lot of teams. Every team is its own unique thing, right? Yeah. Every year. What is it about this team that you feel has gelled with that unity type thing?
I mean, I think it kind of, leaked over from last year.
Okay.
And we had a lot of camaraderie on that team, and just a lot of the guys, loved playing with each other, loved just kind of, doing their job together. And I think it's leaked over to this year. A lot of guys really want to just get their job done, but also do it as a team, do it together like unity. And I just think we all want to win. We all want to, win a state championship again. I think that's also what drives us, is to win a state championship and defend what we've rightfully earned. So.
For you, I've known you for a few years now, and when different people ask me about you, one of the things that I comment on is your faith.
Yes, sir.
You have a faith in Christ that goes far beyond the football field, but it's evident on the football field. For you, how does it guide? How does your faith in Christ guide your life at school and in your everyday, but on the field as well?
I guess just being humble, kind of just try to, be the best player I can be, do everything to God's glory. It's really just allowed me to, I guess, be the best player I can be. There's a standard that God gives us, and I want to play to that standard. So.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you to do some description for me, all right? Because, Coach, I played a lot of football, but I've never run a ball through a hole, saw 15 guys come on me, coaches running at me, cheerleaders coming off the side running at me, still been able to run through all the way through. Tell me what it's like when you get into that hole. And there was a play against EC Glass where you came, kind of went left, and then saw everybody closing in around you. And, we put it as the power play of the week, last week. You hit that. You got hit by 4 guys. What's going through your mind as you step into that hole? I understand.
No.
Line's doing a great job, but there are moments that you have to make decisions. What do you do?
I mean, usually on those stretch plays, you can see the guys hardcore running to the sideline. Sometimes, even when I'm just running, I see these guys' heads their turn. So that gives me the, I guess, cue to cut up field, because they aren't looking at me. They're looking to go see where I'm at. So it's pretty cool to see that, because I can, when I'm in the backfield with the ball, everybody's trying to come to you. So you can basically see what everybody's doing. And it's just, those holes open up, and it's just kind of cool to, run through them. And then just you see one guy make a move, and you can cut off of him and run for the end zone.
That's pretty cool.
Yes,
Coach, you and I have talked extensively. We talked last year a little bit about what it's like to coach a guy like Gideon. Yeah. Has that humble spirit, just easy to get along with, but extremely talented and brings a lot to the team. Tell me what you've seen in his growth. Yeah. Last year, phenomenal year, junior player of the year, having a great year this year. What's it like to coach Gideon Davidson?
I mean, I've said it 100 times. I mean, he's a blast. I've enjoyed, his 2 brothers have come through here prior to him, and I've just enjoyed the Davidson family for 10 years now. And it's, really going to be heartbreaking to have him move on. He'll be the last of them. His, your nephew is here right now. So hopefully there'll still be a bloodline left behind. But, any great team typically has their greatest player be the leader that everyone should follow. And Gid talked about humility, hard work, attention to detail. If your best player is buying into all of those characteristics, typically the team is going to follow along with it. But if your best player ends up being a screwball and goofing around all the time and not really focused and whatever, typically that's the way the team is going to follow. And so I don't think, the success that our team has been able to have over many years now is any accident. A lot of it has been led by the fact that Gid is the kind of young man that he is.
Yeah. Hey, Gideon, we're going to playoffs, obviously, playing Broadway this week. For those that have never played ball or maybe never had the privilege of playing in the playoffs, there's a different feeling in practice and then in games. You've been in several playoff seasons. Mm-hmm. Try and describe for everybody, what's the different feeling? Every game is special, but there's something about playoffs. What for you is that difference?
I guess, like I said in the beginning, just getting to play like teams that you aren't like going to watch, or teams that don't have friends on the team, and then it's just like, it's exciting because like if you lose, you're done. Yeah. But then if you win, you keep going on and you keep playing better and better teams, and it's just super exciting, super fun.
We talked with Andre Kendrick last week and just said the ability to play football on Thanksgiving weekend is, it interrupts a little bit of the turkey, and we're going to get that, but to be able to play is a privilege.
Yes, sir.
Very cool, man. We're proud of you.
We're
excited to see what happens this week. But congrats on being player of the game and getting all them yards. 252 yards.
Yes,
amazing. Well done.
I appreciate it.
Yep. All right, everybody. That was our Sideline Spotlight. Gideon Davidson. What an incredible performance. You come to expect it, and sometimes you almost forget to appreciate it, because I talk to our fans sometimes when Gideon makes a run like that sometimes you almost stop cheering by the end because he's just running in the end zone. I said, this is special that we get to see those things. Hopefully we get to see a lot of that in the playoffs all the way to the States. But we can't get ahead of ourselves because we got week 1 of the playoffs. Broadway coming from north of Harrisonburg, Virginia. Right. Yeah. So they're going to be making the journey down here. For those that don't know anything about Broadway, you've obviously put some time in studying them. Yep. Tell us a little. 7-3 on the year. Yep. Had a big win against Harrisonburg, I believe, 28-27. And from what I understand, I think there's a 2-point conversion that went sideways or something like that got them the win. Other than that, that's about all I know, Coach. Tell me about Broadway.
Yeah, I mean, they're 7-3. They've been in the playoffs very frequently, so this isn't a new thing for them. They have a program that year in and year out is used to postseason play. This team is a little bit young. They play a lot of sophomores, even a freshman. They have a freshman quarterback that plays some. I think he was out this past week, and they were playing a receiver that was playing quarterback. And then they're very well coached, and they do some things offensively that are kind of dynamic with spread stuff and get the ball to athletes out in space. Defensively, they're a high pressure, blitzing, playing straight man type of a defense. This is. I mean, you can't take anyone lightly once you get to this point, and to win 7 games in a football season is quite an accomplishment.
Yeah. What I see when you talk about them being able to get the ball to guys in space, I feel like a lot of teams have tried to do that on this year, because our line, we've talked over and over about our line, watching them grow up right in front of us. Right. And they are at that point where that interior line is saying, you're going to have to beat us on the outside. Right. So what you're saying is that some of our skilled players, some of our linebackers and all that, they're going to, this is going to come down to them being able to make some plays in space.
That's right. And just being in the right spots and containing and setting edges and things like that, which we'll have a week of practicing that, and hopefully we can execute it Friday.
So Friday nights, 7 o'clock still game time.
Yep.
We're playing the Broadway Gobblers. Yes, the Gobblers. So look for turkey-related things. I think Gideon said it in his thing. It's always interesting to see teams that you never get a chance to see. So it's kind of neat. Definitely want fans to come out here. One of the things I wanted to ask you in that for those that are watching. There can be a tendency. It's cold. Mm-hmm. It might be a cold night, and sometimes you hear fans, especially when you have had years of success in the playoffs, of maybe I don't need to go to this first game because I can go to the next one or the next one. Right. But as well as I do, Gid said one and done. Yeah. I mean, and so for fans considering waiting to other playoff rounds, what would you say to encourage them to attend this week's game against the Gobblers?
Yeah, I mean, it's it's an experience, and the fact that our guys are here again this year and trying to really make history in a lot of ways. We want our fans to be there, experience it with us, and we need them to be able to provide that energy to be able to do what we're hopeful to do. As I mentioned, the 4-year back-to-back years of winning the Seminole District and the region. We're going for a 4th out of 5 years. There was 1 year we didn't win it, and we're trying hopefully for this senior class to leave a legacy that is almost unprecedented, and so we need our fans there to help us along. And we want our fans to feel a part of it and to enjoy making history.
Bulldog fans, I can't tell you the number of times that I watch and talk to these football players, and they talk about what a blessing it is to have the stands filled, and you see them turn around and they're encouraging guys to get up and get loud because they love when you guys are there. It means something, and it's really neat to be able to participate in a football game to be that encouragement for those guys. Coach, before we get done, important business to do today.
Okay, let's do it.
I need you to pick some football games for me.
All right.
3 games that I don't bet or anything. I just need to know who's going to win.
Okay.
First is Liberty at UMass. Yep. Liberty coming off. They had two really rough games. Mm-hmm. They come back and they beat Middle Tennessee State pretty handily. Look like they're back. But a UMass team that's not the same as it's been in years past. But I think Liberty should win. Yep. Tell me what you think about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Liberty's back on track. If you are a betting man, I'd say Liberty by 2 touchdowns.
Okay. All right. Next one might come as a shock to you that I put it in there. Mm-hmm. Mercer is at Alabama.
Yeah.
Now Mercer's 9-1.
Yeah.
And Alabama thinks 7-2. And so just looking at that record, but I know it's Alabama. But is there any chance whatsoever that Mercer shocks the world and beats Alabama?
It may come as a surprise that you asked me that question. It may come as a surprise to you that I was at the Mercer game last Saturday. I saw them live with my own eyes. They are a very good FCS football program, but they don't have a chance against Alabama.
Man,
no.
That'd be really special for us.
It would be, but they don't have a chance. Yeah.
Do they score a touchdown?
Yeah, maybe one. They have a really good young quarterback, tall, like a Tom Brady looking guy, but he runs well, unlike Tom Brady. But I think he maybe could, provide a little bit of something to get some offense and maybe score a touchdown, but that's about it. By the way, Tyler Murray played tremendously. True freshman, starting every game this year, played every offensive snap last week against VMI, and we were just so proud of him. I mean, he's representing very well.
I love it. The moment that LCA won the Seminole District championship, he was on Twitter, reposted, and he says some things never change.
Yeah,
I love it. That's what I was hoping. I was just hoping that maybe we see Tyler help lead that team.
Well, we'll see him on national TV.
Before we get to the last one, why does a team like Alabama play a Mercer team this late in the season?
Money for Mercer.
For Mercer,
yeah. So FCS programs, they get paid significantly to go and play the big time programs. Now, I think over time that may go away, but right now that's still a thing to do. And so they're making probably $2 million to go down there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Last one. Penn State at Purdue.
Oh.
Now,
go ahead.
Can you do this without using your heart?
No, but it's not going to even be close. I mean, Penn. I was saying all year long that I really believe that this was their year. I still think they're going to get into the college playoffs.
Okay.
But they stubbed their toe against Ohio State after being up 10-0, and it really looked like, man, we're going to get it this year. And then they turned the table on them. But Purdue's not a match for Penn State. They're just too good.
Wow. Well, before we go, we're going to take one little break, and we're going to do the Maddox Power play of the game.
Yeah.
And also remind, I'll put this right at the end so that we can emphasize, get your tickets now.
Right.
Let's go check it out.
It's time for the Maddox Power Play of the Week, brought to you by Maddox Air, Electrical, and Plumbing, keeping your home running strong. Let's check out this week's big-time play. Maddox, let's get started. With the game winding down and the Bulldogs in control, they lined up on 4th and 4, ready to keep the clock moving. But as they pushed up the middle, Jefferson Forest defense made a stand, ripping the ball free. Suddenly, the ball shot out of the pack, bouncing 6 yards back. Most would have thought the play was over, but not Tyler Jackson. Staying locked in, Tyler scooped up the loose ball, bolted to the right, and turned on the Jets, outpacing defenders on the way to the end zone for an unexpected 33-yard score. A perfect example of alertness and playing till the final whistle. That was your Maddox Power Play of the Week, brought to you by Maddox Air, Electrical, and Plumbing. When it comes to your home, Maddox says, let's get started.
The first week of the playoffs is here, and it's Liberty Christian versus Broadway Gobblers. The Bulldogs are set to defend their home turf in a high-stakes matchup tonight at 7 p.m. in Bulldog Stadium. Avoid the line and grab your tickets online at GoFan. Get ready to cheer on the Bulldogs in this can't-miss playoff showdown. Get them now.
All right, Coach. I guess we can't say it enough. Get your tickets. Come out. Support the Bulldogs. It's going to be a great game. Get some of Andy's burgers at Benny's Bites. This is the best time to get the playoff football, Benny's Bites, the burgers, and get loud on third down. You got anything else?
No, we're very honored and to be representing LCA. When you have this platform of going out into the state, it's not just our football team. We're representing this community and this the school community, and we're very honored to do it. And we're looking forward to the opportunity to stay on the track to repeat again.
Well, Coach, I know this means a lot for people to hear from you, to get to know you a little bit better. Fans, it's been awesome to meet a lot of you and hear what Bulldog Breakdown has meant to you. Hopefully we can do this all the way into December and have a really good final podcast again for this year. But that's it for this one. Go get your tickets and go Dogs.